What's going on, everybody? Spaceballs here. Welcome back to another Kingdom of Heroes video. Today, guys, we're going to be going over who you should pick as your farmer. Now, this is a hairy question. And the thing is, I'm still kind of super early game. I know I'm level 90, but my runes are still early game, and I'm still learning myself. But the question is, who should you build as your farmer? Now, I've been testing a lot of different things, guys. I've been going on other people's accounts, testing out their farmers, testing out Mary, testing out Media, and just because you don't necessarily see it built on my account doesn't mean that I haven't tested it out yet. Now, Mudspell is a great farmer, don't get me wrong. The thing with Mudspell is RNG has to kind of be on his side. If he starts too far in the back, if he is too many spaces on the left or right, it takes too much RNG. So pretty much if Mudspell is not lined up perfectly when the stage is started, or if RNG is just not in your favor, because he's very RNG based, the farm can go from 10 seconds to 40 seconds. And I see this happen every day with my Mudspell. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen when you're late game. Maybe when you have all 6-star runes. Maybe if he's a little bit faster. But I still don't think that's going to play on the side of RNG, because it's still going to be RNG based depending on where he starts on the map. You know, depending if the enemies split up. Like if half the enemies go on the left side and the other half go on the right side, then he's going to use his 8-3 nuke, which is this one here, and they're going to be split up, so he's going to waste it. He's only going to kill, 2 enemies out of the 4 enemies, which is going to make your run an extra 10 to 15 seconds. Now, Mudspell is set up to be the perfect farmer. If we go over his kit, which I already went over Mudspell in many other videos, but we'll quickly go over him again. And everything he does is pretty much, nuke based. So he's definitely a DPSer. He's definitely meant to be a farmer. He's got the attack leader skill, which is giving him 30% attack and all of the allies. Then he's got this A3, which is a pure nuke, which gives him more damage. And then he's got the A2, which gives him an extra turn and a attack buff. And then he's got the A1, which is another nuke, which cools down his A2, which procs him back into his A3. So the way his skills are, he is definitely meant to be a farmer / DPS unit. Now let's kind of throw him in some runs here while we talk about him, and then I'll go over some other farmers as well. And what I'm noticing about him is he needs really good runes. Now, I don't know if he needs Vampire. I have seen him do runs without Vampire, and I have seen him do 7 to 10 second runs, just not necessarily consistently. I would say every, 2 out of the 5 runs, he's either doing like a 30 to 40 second run, or he fails, and I think that just comes down to rune quality. And the issue I have with that is early game, we're not going to have the best runes. So now, my opinion on Mudspell is he's probably the best farmer late game when you have all 6-star runes, the speed is correct, and you're farming late game. Now, the thing is, none of us are farming late game because we're all new to the game, and we're all looking for that consistent, steady 7-1 farmer. Now, I do think Mudspell could be that farmer. I just don't think he can be that farmer early game. I do not regret 6-starring my Mudspell because I use him everywhere as a nuker. I use him in arena. He nukes everything. I use him in TOA. He nukes like every single floor. And like on stream that day, he was doing some crazy stuff, just nuking like TOA, 76. He literally nuked the entire floor in one shot. And as you can see there, if RNG is in his favor, he will nuke the first stage, no problem. Same thing with the second stage. The issue is RNG plays a big factor here. If they do not stay grouped together like that, or he does not take the first turn, he will not be able to do this. Because many times they split up, some go to the left, some go to the right, and then he ends up dying because he can't nuke them with his A3. And there's just so many things that could go wrong that make him an inconsistent farmer. Now, I am using him now, as you can see, as a 7-1 farmer. I believe it's about 20 to 25 seconds. But you have to take into consideration I have all 5-star runes. I have 70% crit rate. So it's not the best, rune set that I have on him. He's not on Vampire or anything like that. You just want to make sure that he's over 127 speed. Because if he's not, the enemy will move first. And then they will definitely split up, which will make him unusable. And I feel like that's the issue a lot of people are having with Mudspell. Is they don't realize that he needs to be over 127 speed. Because if he's not, they're going to move, they're going to separate, and then he's going to become kind of useless because he's going to proc his A3 on like one enemy, and then you're pretty much going to fail after that. So let's see how fast this run was. Where's the time? So this was a 43-second run. Actually, my new best, funny enough. And I have seen him do this, guys. Believe it or not, I have seen him do it in 7 to 12 seconds. But again, I just feel like it's so much RNG that's going to be involved, and he's going to need 6-star attack runes on his slot 4 and 6. He's going to need a slot 2 6-star crit damage, and he's going to need over 2200 attack because he's going to have to nuke that stage 1 and 2 on the first attack. But I just wanted to show you a run here. Now, what I've been farming with my Mud spell, I just want to show you quickly before we get into other ones here, is 3-1. Now, this for me is my most consistent, fastest run right now. So that's why I've been sticking with this. So I wanted to show you guys this so you guys can understand that you don't need to be farming 7-1 right away. It's not something that's going to happen, 2 days into the game. You have to understand that 7-1 is an end game, farming stage. Now, I know some people do it, but most of those people are using Media, and it's like a 40, to 50-second run. Some people get really good runes early on. They get lucky, so they are able to farm it, consistently and fast. But most of us won't get those runes, and RNG is not going to be in our favor. So we're going to have to make it work with what we have. And this is why I do 3-1. Now, as you can even see here, these enemies are splitting up, and it's taking him a lot longer than it should. Now, these runs range between, I think, 15 and 35 seconds. But the thing here is it's consistent. I know it's never going to fail. I'm not wasting energy. So I'm happy doing it, even if it's like a 20 to 30 second run, because I know I'm not going to fail. As you can see, I'm very close to being able to farm 7-1. I think once I get a little bit more crit rate and maybe like 200 more attack on my Mud spell, he will be able to farm 7-1 no problem. So my best here is 19 seconds, as you can see, and then now we have like a 40 seconds. So he's actually ranging here because RNG in this game, guys, it plays a big factor in farming because it's a tactical game. Mud spell gets started all over the place. If he starts too far back, he won't nuke on the first turn. The enemies will split up, and it's going to turn a 7-second farm into a 40-second farm. There is no stopping it. So don't feel bad, guys, if your runs are taking longer than 7 seconds. 7 seconds is an end game stat. When you guys are seeing people do 7 seconds, these are from like, end game Korean accounts that have been playing the game for 2 years that have, 6-star legendary runes, beautiful substats, and they're able to do these runs, in 7 seconds. Now, I know there is some people out there that can do it. They have the right runes, they're using the right farmer. But the average player is not going to be able to do it, guys. So just keep that in mind. Don't feel bad. As you can saw, I still can barely do it. I can do it, but not consistently, so I won't do it. And it doesn't make Mudspell a bad farmer or not the best farmer. It just means he needs really good runes, and he does need a little bit of RNG in his favor if he doesn't have those really good primo runes. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm actually working on my meta. Yes, I did pull Morgan. I am going to try Morgan out as a farmer soon as well. I don't want to use it in this video because I'm trying to use 4 stars, and Mudspell is craftable, and there's a lot of other ones that are craftable that you can use as a farmer. Now, Media is not craftable, but she is a 4-star. Now, I don't have her built yet. I am working on her. As you can see, I just started building her yesterday because I had so many other projects to work on. She is probably going to be your best 7-1 early game farmer because she's going to be consistent. Now, especially if you throw her on Vampire. Now, you could also say I could throw Mudspell on Vampire, and he'd be able to do that no problem. Now, I have tried. My Vampire runes are not good enough to get him the attack and crit rate and crit damage stats that he needs, to be able to, keep himself full healed. And it just makes the run so much slower. I think it was like a 1.5-minute run. So for me, I'd rather just have him as a nuker and just farm a lower stage. Now, the thing with Media is she's always strong. And even if she wasn't in 7-1, she is strong to the fire units. Now, as you're going up early game, if you happen to pull Media, you can use her in 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1 as you go up through the campaign stages, and she's going to work great for you. Because of this passive here, she's always strong. This passive here, she's reducing her base crit rate by 15% and reducing the enemy's attack gauge by 10%. And then paired with these two here, I believe this is another... Let's pull her up on the main screen so we can see how much it's actually reducing attack gauge, because every skill that Media has is reducing attack gauge. So successful hits will reduce the mobility of enemies hit for 1 turn if the action gauge of the enemy is below 50%. So that's 10%, and then it's also putting a slow action gauge on the unit. Now, I do want to talk about this. There is 2 kinds of slow in this game. There is action gauge slow, and then there's actually locking the unit and not letting them move. And that's the one where there's locks around the unit and they can't move spaces. That means they actually can't move around the board. In this game, that's actually huge because it's a tactical battle. So if the unit can't move, it most likely can't get close to you or it can't hit you at range, whatever it is. But locking up the unit's actually really good. And slowing down the attack gauge is also really good. And that's what Media does. Plus the passive is going to be reducing it by 10%. And then on her A1, she's doing 10%. And I believe this paired with this is 20%, just reducing the attack gauge by 20%. Now, when I was using her, I believe on Tyler's account, the enemy wasn't moving at all. She just kept them completely locked up. She just kept taking turns. And then on Vampire, even if she gets hit, she'll be able to heal back up to full. So I'm honestly going to say that Media is probably the best early game farmer for 7-1. Now, you could argue that there's better farmers for other stages, but I'm talking about getting to 7-1 as fast as possible. 7-1 Conqueror as fast as possible, and I think Media is the way to get there. I think even with basic runes like these runes that I have on her now, once I have her 6-star, I feel like if I can get like 10 more speed on her up to that 127 mark, she's going to be able to farm consistently at 20 to 30 second time, which is really good for an early game, 2 week into the game farmer. So I'm going to say that Media probably is the best choice early game if you pull her. If you don't pull her, Mudspell is fine. As you saw, you just have to work your way up to 7-1. You're not going to be able to just jump into 7-1 with 5-star runes and, anything less than 100% crit rate and 2200 attack. So I am working on my Media. I will post up a video as soon as I get her built and farming 7-1. I will come back to this video and make, a final result video of who I'm using for my farmer. So now we went over Media, we went over Mudspell. They are both excellent farmers. Now let's go over, I don't really want to use too many 5-stars in this video because you guys know that 5-stars are good farmers. Most people won't pull some of these 5-stars, so I don't think it's necessary to really go over them. I will give them a shout out at the end of this video, just so you guys know who the good Nat 5 farmers are. But for now, we're going to stick to the Nat 4s. Now, Mary is at the top of that list as well. But once again, she needs a lot of love. Unlike Media, I feel like Media doesn't even need to be skilled up. I feel like she could be on 5-star runes. She probably doesn't even need Vampire. And she's going to get to 7-1 probably the fastest. And that's why I kind of like Media. That's why I'm comfortable saying that she's probably the best early game farmer in the game. Because she doesn't need crazy runes and crazy stats and all these skill ups to get you to that 7-1, farming consecutively and quickly. Now with Mary, she is considered a triple S tier farmer as well, but I have tested Mary out on Aethos's account. Shout out to Aethos and Tyler for letting me get on your accounts and test out these farmers. Now I know we're not doing it here in this video, but I promise you guys, if you go on Twitch and you look at my past streams, we test out all this stuff. We do TOA, we go over all of that on the Twitch channel, so that is in the description as always if you want to check that stuff out there. And Mary could be a triple S tier farmer. She's good. The thing is, you have to craft her. She costs a lot of resources. You can't pull her. So you're going to have to farm her up, which is going to take a lot of time and a lot of resources. And she needs a lot of love. She needs good runes. She needs to be on Vampire. Not like Media, where she can probably get away with not being on Vampire as long as she's fast enough. And she needs to be completely skilled up, I think, or at least one of these skills needs to be completely skilled up to be able to farm on stage 7 in the campaign. I don't even think she can farm 7-1 because she's tree. I think it's actually like 7-2 that she farms, or 7-3. And I know she's good at like 3-1 and 1-1, but there's so many farmers that are good at those stages that you probably don't want to craft Mary just for that. But she is on this list because she is a good farmer and she is good all over the game. So you can build her and use her, early, mid, and late game. That's another thing, like picking these farmers and putting them in this like top 3, top 5 video, whatever you want to call it. I wanted to make sure that they were going to be consistent for you guys and you were going to be able to use them early, mid, and late game so you're not wasting resources. And Mary is just so good, not even as a farmer, just for so many other things she is usable. So that's why I don't mind saying that Mary would be a good farmer for you. I definitely think Media and Mudspell are better as farmers. But if you have Mary crafted and built, you could probably use her no problem. I did try to use her on Aethos' account. She could not farm 7-1. She almost farmed 7-2. She farmed 3-1 and 1-1 fine. I'm not sure if it was 7-2 or 7-3, but she was very close. But again, she wasn't skilled up, and she wasn't completely leveled up. She was 6-starred, but she wasn't fully leveled up, and she was super close to doing it. But it was, again, she was on Vampire. It was like a 40-second run. So we'll say that she could be a farmer. She probably is a triple S tier farmer as far as late game goes, and like 3-1 and 1-1 goes. But again, I'm trying to give you guys good early game farmers that you can bring into late game, because early game you're just not going to have these crazy stats, and you're not going to be able to do 7-second runs. So don't like look at people doing these 7-second runs and then think to yourself, oh, I'm just going to build Mud Spell and I can do a 7-second run too, because that is not the case. I really can't even do I can't do anywhere near a 7-second run, and that goes for 1-1, 3-1, 7-1, because it just takes so much love. Like, the unit needs to be fully skilled up. The unit needs 6-star legendary runes. Well, I don't want to say legendary, but 6-star runes, and just so much, love in general, that you're not going to be farming, these campaign stages unless you're a whale and you're spending a ton of money and you're buying rune packs. It's going to take you some time. It's not going to happen overnight. So slowly go through the campaign, see what works for you, see what unit is, your most consistent. Put your best farming runes on that unit and just keep farming that. And as you go, I promise you, you will get to 7-1 Conqueror in no time. As you can see, I am super close. My Mud Spell is almost there. I feel like once I pull a 6-star attack slot 4 and 6, he will be able to do it no problem. But again, I'm playing almost 3 weeks now, and he is not even close to doing a 7-second run. And I know that he can do it because I've seen it. I know you guys have seen it. But again, these are on whale accounts that are buying rune packs. So you really don't want to compare yourself to them. You kind of just want to go with what you can do and what your account can handle. Just go for consistency, like I keep saying over and over again. Like I'm trying to beat it in here so you guys understand. So now let's go over other Nat 5 farmers that I think would be really good for you as well. Now, Iguai can definitely do it. He is long farmer. I don't really like to use Iguai too much because he just makes the game super easy, so I'm trying not to use him. Yes, I do have him built for certain things. Like I use them on TOA 100 for the heal block, because I don't have a heal block build, but I'm going to do all of TOA soon in a video, and I'm not going to use Iguai. I'm going to build something else that has heal block, because TOA this month from 70 to 100 was actually super tough. So I definitely want to make a video on that, which is coming really soon. Now, Morgan is a triple S tier farmer. I actually think Morgan is probably close to being the best farmer in the game, because she just has so much. She's got the shield, she's got the defense break, and I feel like she would probably be a really good, consistent early game 7-1 farmer. Now, I just pulled her yesterday, so I haven't got to test her out yet, so I don't want to say too much on it. But I feel like from what I can see and what other people are using, Morgan is triple S tier farmer. I know on tier lists people rate her low, which I don't understand why. Like when I see Claudia on a tier list and she's rated at triple S, and you got Morgan as like an A, it just kind of makes me think like, where is this tier list coming from? Because I've seen Morgan do a 7 to 15 second run on 7-1 with 6-star legendary runes, of course. And I've never seen that from Claudia. Now, don't get me wrong, Claudia is amazing. Top tier, but for 7-1, she's green, so I don't know how well she's going to do. Probably 7-2 or 7-3, something like that. But I don't like her as a farmer at all. But I do love her everywhere else in the game, don't get me wrong. Now, again, Esperanza can do it, no problem. But she's going to be a little slow, because if the units spread out, she's only going to be one-shotting, each unit one at a time. But on Vampire, she can do it no problem. But she's more of like a 1 to 2 minute run. Same thing with Iguai. He's going to be like a 1 to 2 minute run. But they can farm for you no problem. Like if you're a free-to-play player and you're not going to be spending a lot of gems, these are actually great farmers for you if you happen to pull them. Same thing with Morgan. You slap her on Vampire, she's going to be able to do 7-1 no problem. Just it's going to take a really long time. Most people are looking to farm really, really fast and efficient. But if you're just looking for that efficiency, Iguai, Morgan, and Esperanza on Vampire are going to do that for you no problem. So let's kind of close this out here, and I'll give you my final thoughts, and then we will wrap this up. So I'm going to say Media is probably the best early game farmer in the game. Now, I know not everybody's going to have her, but she's at the top of my list. I feel like if you pull her, you don't need really good runes. She's going to farm 7-1 for you, no problem. Now, I don't have her built. I'm sorry I can't show you. I promise you really soon. Or if you come over to Twitch today or tomorrow, I will have her 6-starred, and I will show you guys how good she actually is as a 7-1 farmer. But I give you my word that she is a fantastic 7-1 farmer. Probably the best in the game. And I feel like I can comfortably say that because of her passive and just what she does and how much turn meter she's reducing. And if she's on Vampire, she is just going to rip through 7-1 in a really fast time. And she might not even need Vampire. I mean, I feel like if she's on really good DPS set, she probably doesn't even need it, to be honest with you. I just kind of threw her on it for now. I'm going to switch her with my Mud Spell eventually. Once she's 6-starred and maxed out, I'm going to give her Mud Spell's runes and see how she does. Now, I'm going to say after that is going to be Mud Spell. Again, he's going to need a lot of love. Really good runes to be able to farm 7-1. But up to 7-1, he is farming no problem. He can farm 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, or, you know, the 2s. Whatever it is, he can farm all of that stuff, you know, as you go through the game. And he's craftable, so everybody can get him. So it's not like Media where you might not have her. Mud Spell you will have. You can feel comfortable building him, and he's going to work just fine. He's just not going to be able to do 7-1 right away, guys. So just keep that in mind. You have to work up to 7-1. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. And then we got Mary. And again, I love Mary. I love her for all parts of the game. I'm actually getting ready to craft her myself. And I'm going to craft Hildegard at the same time once I pop my last 200% booster, because I don't want to waste it. And I want to make sure I get full use out of it. So I want to make sure I have 3 days off before I pop it. Now I'm going to say Mary is probably at the bottom of my list. So I'm going to say Media, Mud Spell, and Mary. Now, the only thing is, Media is not craftable. So some of you guys might not have her. Between Mud Spell and Mary, I'm going to say Mud Spell, because Mary is not going to be able to do 7-1 because she's green. She might be able to do it on Vampire, but it's going to take her a while. So it's probably like 7-2 or 7-3 that she's going to have to do. And she needs a lot of love to do it. I know Mud Spell does too, but he is a nuker. He has the attack lead. He's going to bring so much more to the table for you as far as farming goes. So I'm going to say Mud Spell over Mary. Now, I know some people are going to disagree with me. This is not the end-all be-all. This is just my opinion, guys. This is just what I see, what I've learned as I've been going through the game, trying to pick out my farmer, you know, pretty much trying to find my end-game farmer. And I can honestly tell you it's most likely going to be Mary at this point. Maybe once I have 6-star runes and Mud Spell's doing the 7 to 15, you know, consistent run, I will, you know, use Mud Spell. But I don't think he's really ever going to be 7 seconds consistently because of RNG. Because if he starts off in the back, the units are always going to split up and he's never going to be able to nuke them on the first turn. So it's always going to be based off of RNG. So I don't know if he's ever going to be like my favorite farmer, but I know he can do it. But he is RNG based. So I'm going to leave it with Media for now. I know some of you guys aren't going to have her, so Mud Spell is a perfect substitution for her. I don't want to say Mary. Mary's good for 1-1, 2-1, and 3-1. After that, I don't think she's good for farming anymore. I think she kind of falls off. But just keep that in mind. But if you have her crafted, you could definitely use her. But that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. I hope that clears up all of this farming stuff for you guys. I know a lot of you guys are confused on what to build, why your Mud Spell isn't, you know, a 7-second farmer, and why he's doing it for other people. And it's because other people are, you know, are either buying rune packs or they were lucky and they have 6-star attack percentage runes on their slot 4 and 6. I mean, there's a lot of things to take into consideration. So just know that he's not going to do it right away. He will do it eventually, like I showed you. Just hang in there, keep working on him, keep farming those runes. The rune dungeon's super important. You know, after you build a couple 6-stars, you definitely want to get into that rune dungeon because that's what's going to get you farming 7-1 the fastest. So as you guys know, we have a giveaway going on. It is our 1,000 sub celebration giveaway. It's $200 in total. 4 winners. Thank you guys so much for the awesome support. We are growing so fast here on YouTube, and I just can't thank you guys enough for it. I love each and every single one of you, like I always say. So if you want to be a part of that, that is in the description, along with our Twitch and Discord. If you want to be a part of the random giveaway, which I'm going to be picking the winner any day now, make sure you're sub to the channel, you're liking and commenting on all the videos to be a part of that. As always, I love you guys. I will see you in the next one. Spaceballs out. Peace.